Mayor Marty Walsh and Police Commissioner William Evans not mincing words. They will not put up with bad behavior. Our Chris McKinnon is live for us at City Hall Plaza with more on this. Chris, good afternoon.
Hi, Catherine. Well, if there was one thing that Mayor Marty Walsh stressed at that news conference this morning about First Night, it's that they'll tolerate protesters, but they aren't going to allow protesters to disrupt the event. Okay, now they're expecting upwards of 1 million people to come on into Boston for New Year's Eve. Right now, MBTA and Boston police say that there are no known credible threats to the First Night events, but a group of protesters planning a die-in, as they call it, could cause a headache for police and those families trying to enjoy the event. Now, the bulk of the celebration happens before 7 o'clock, culminating with the fireworks over the Boston Common. The protesters plan to do that die-in around Copley Square during the busiest of times.
Well, this isn't the event. We can see protests. We'll deal with them. We've dealt with them. But please don't upset these young kids' night when we're trying to encourage every family to come into the city.
Now, Commissioner Evans and Mayor Walsh said that they're asking the protesters who do this die-in to please keep the sidewalks and the streets clear, because they do expect a lot of young kids, a lot of elderly people, and disabled folks who are going to be trying to get around the city. So any sort of obstruction would make it extremely difficult for those people to enjoy the event, and that will not be tolerated during tomorrow night's event. Now, the other thing that Mayor Walsh mentioned this morning was that these protests are allowed to happen. He respects the idea of protests, but says the time now is to move forward and figure out some sort of a dialogue with the protesters in the city so that they can come to some agreement and start moving forward so these protests stop interrupting the way that the city operates. We're live in Boston this afternoon, Chris McKinnon, WBZ News.